Aloha, this is Santa Surfing. Welcome to Beach Broadcast. Today is Tuesday, March 31st, 2020. I want to thank those that did order Trump cards. There are some people that have inquired about international cards being sent directly to President Trump. So I want to go ahead and share this with you that those are actually being made. The only card we were able to test it on was this card, so this is how it would work. You go here to Trump card, you go to view all products, and then this is called Trump Cards Direct, all right? So you click on Trump Cards Direct. Now this applies to anybody, but those that are from other countries that would like to send President Trump a card, you can do so. And we did some test runs yesterday. And so what it is, essentially, it's the same identical card that you would, that I would, for anybody who wanted to order this particular card. But what you need to do is you need to include your message that you would like to send to President and or Melania Trump, the quantity that you like, and you add it to the cart. We are going to make sure that you receive a tracking number so that you can make sure, and it will have your name on the return address. So it is going to have your name, although it is going to be shipped from Hawaii, but it will have your tracking number as you'll have a tracking number so you can see that it did arrive. But thank you very much. And I also want to thank, there's a couple of people that made some donations too. I really do appreciate that. Thank you so much. This part is NESARA Part 11, Public and Individual Proofs. I've also been getting some people that have asked, Santa, could you put that all on one page? Yes, I can. I just need to put that all on one page, and I want to include like the highlight topics because many of us are saying, oh, what article was that in? You know, I remember that she talked about this particular subject about a NESARA post. Rather than having to comb through all of it, I'll have the topics that I have listed for each of the articles on this page, and then you can go ahead and access that. So I just want to go through some NESARA proofs. They're public and individual proofs. There are a lot of public proofs that are in the works or has already, or it's actually in fruition. And then after this, I want to go over the CARES Act because I think that's really important. I did go to the bank yesterday, and I'll share what happened. So let's go through the NESARA proofs as of today. So the first part is that NESARA zeroes out all IFRGs or zeroes out credit card, mortgage, and other bank debts. Okay. Now, this is proof, and I'm putting partially due to COVID and individuals sharing their debt forgiveness. This right here, if you click on this link, it goes to the CARES Act page, which is the page about what to do next. But this is from Marco Rubio, and it talks about, in sum, what the CARES Act is. So it kind of walks you through some of the highlights of what the CARES Act involves, which is also the debt forgiveness. I did some research on that as well, and oh my goodness, the debt forgiveness is huge for small businesses. So so we're getting closer to that. There have been tons of stories, I'll get to that in a minute, of other people that are sharing about mainly student loan debts being completely forgiven. And then number 2, abolishes income tax. Trump announced he wants to do that. The proof is, here's an article that he mulled over a 0% payroll income tax. He announced that this year. Number 3, abolishes the IRS. Trump has discussed this, so I don't have any actual links or proofs on that it happened. Number 4, it creates a flat tax rate. Now, whether it's 14 or 17%. I'm going to love this because in Hawaii, we are triple taxed. We're taxed federally, by the state, and also with our general excise tax. So this is going to be it's going to be a lifesaver for us here. But this right here has a link to Trump's tax plan and how it could affect you. So it is interesting because it's a brief history of the new tax plan, and that was back in 2018. Again, he is making efforts to get us a lower tax on a lower tax rate. But then he also, here's that same article, has mulled over the 0% payroll income tax that was announced this year. Number 5, it increases benefits to senior citizens. Trump plans, here we go. He has an EO that 5 ways that Trump plans to improve Medicare for older Americans. Baby boomers they're about 15% of the U.S. population right now, so that's a pretty big chunk. So there's a great article by Breitbart, and that he did sign an executive order talking about, he signed an executive order last year, October of last year, protecting and improving Medicare for our nation's seniors. So I did want to let you know that he is looking out for the senior citizens and those that are on Social Security or seniors. He is looking out for those individuals. Now, number 6, returns constitutional law to all courts and legal matters. Trump appointing a historic number of judges to uphold our Constitution. And then here's a Ballotpedia talking about the 193 Trump judges confirmed. Really, really good information. And I'll share this with you that I actually have been going through a lawsuit for 12 years now. It's been going on for a while. And there is no legal standing. However, the courts, our liberal state, has a court system that is really slanting towards, of course, not following the law. The law is on my side. We're down the home stretch, but the law is on my side. However, if you have a constitutional judge, they're going to sit there and say, 6 years ago, this is hogwash, get this out of my courthouse, I never want to see it again, I'm going to dismiss it with prejudice. The courts haven't done that. So they keep allowing the plaintiff to go ahead and refile and reamend, and it's just absolutely madness. So that's kind of what I've been dealing with on the side here. But we're down the home stretch. Whatever direction it goes, I will go ahead and share more of the details with you. But I just wanted to go ahead and let you know that's what constitutional law is all about. If there's a law about it and the plaintiff or the defendant broke the law, then that's how the court needs to rule, not objectively based on what a judge decides because he or she is a liberal or not a liberal. 7 is reinstates the original title of nobility. And there's a lot of people that have been traitors and treason. They've committed treason. So I just put an article here. It's kind of defining title of nobility, which is kind of an interesting read. And then number 8 is establish new presidential and congressional elections within 120 days after NESARA's announcement. The second part of this is the interim government will cancel all national emergencies and return us back to constitutional law. I was excited when President Trump declared national emergency on March 13th, and the reason why is for this very reason. Once the interim government comes into place, the national emergencies, they'll be canceled, and then we will be in a new world of constitutional law. Establishes new presidential and congressional elections within 120 days. That puts it at July 6, 2020. So I'm very anxious to see what's going to happen between now and July 6th of 2020. And then a lot of this also has to do with the media. The media has to be taken care of and dealt with because they have been, as many of us know, it's been fake news. So we will eventually get everything right back on track and having a completely different America, which would be wonderful. Number 9, monitors elections and prevents illegal election activities of special interest groups. I had read that there was an article of anybody who's caught with a fake ID that isn't illegal will get immediately deported. So I imagine these illegals that have been voting are not going to be voting this year. So here's a interesting read from Politico. It's a liberal news article that you can go ahead and take a look at. And then the Republic government under the constitutional law. Get it back in the right direction. This is number 10 is creates a new U.S. Treasury rainbow currency backed by gold, silver, platinum, precious metals. Now these are a couple of proofs, the Q proofs 3904 and 3393, and then how the Federal Reserve, Trump's Fed pick, wants to revive the gold standard, and that would be wonderful. And this is back in 2019 when that article was written. And then, of course, Trump's tweet on our economy right now is the gold standard throughout the world. So very, very strong signs of that we are heading towards the gold standard. Number 11 forbids the sale of American birth certificate records as chattel or personal property. So just sharing that with you that our many birth certificates have been resold so that the bad people can go ahead and use it and have a new identity. You know, there's a president that had done that. So, I'm going to call a fake POTUS here. Number 12, initiates new U.S. Treasury bank system in alignment with constitutional law. This is so huge. This is all what's happened in the last week. So you can read through that. And then there's a CNBC article that pretty much it says Trump can go ahead and run the Treasury Department. That was back in 2018. And when did those Q proofs come in in terms of going back and getting rid of the Federal Reserve and the gold standard? They were dating back to 2018. Number 13 eliminates the Federal Reserve System during the transition period. The Federal Reserve, now would not be allowed to operate side by side of the U.S. Treasury for 1 year in order to remove all federal notes from the money supply. Well, there's a few articles that have been published, but here's one, the CNBC article. Here's the Yahoo Finance article that pretty much says that the Federal Reserve is done. And then there's just a really great read, too. It's a NESARA article, things that I've already shared with you, but it is in short. So it's got bullet point reading, which is really great. I kind of like that. But it does say, under the new republic, the Federal Reserve is closed. Guess what? The Federal Reserve is closed right now, right? Under the new republic, the IRS and corrupt judges will be dealt with. Under the new, which is kind of in the process, the new republic, the Bar Association and all U.S. attorneys will have to renounce their bar oath to the Temple Bar of London and become lawyers, but they can't be considered attorneys anymore. Just wanted to put that in there. I kind of scratching my head on that one. So anybody that's a lawyer maybe can provide some insight in the comments below in our YouTube comments. Number 68, the individual governments of the 50 states will remain in place. And number 69, the North American Union is now done. Washington, D.C. has been disincorporated. Remember, D.C. is on lockdown until April 24th. Some big things are happening. Now, number 14, restores financial privacy. Did you know there was an act actually that does talk about restoring and preventing or keeping our financial information private? Yeah, I didn't know either. So there's that act. You can go ahead and read it there. Number 15, retrains all judges and attorneys in constitutional law. Again, Trump confirmed all of the Trump judges, 193, unprecedented, by the way. So you can read on that. Okay, number 16, seizes all aggressive U.S. government military actions worldwide. There is a reason why President Trump has the executive order for the reservists to serve as active duty. 1 million, from what I've heard. And part of it is, yes, to go ahead and take care of some bad stuff that is happening and arrests that are going to be made. But then after those arrests are done, and that will be whether we have days of darkness, whether it's 3 days or 10 days of darkness, it's actually a good thing. So it is. So then once the bad people are rounded up, arrested, and taken away, then we're going to have that peace. And that's where the active duty comes into play, is also that they are going to keep that peace restored. And then going back up to that NESARA article that I had mentioned, the bullet point number 71 in that article, the new republic military is in the process of reclaiming all military installations. That's right here. And then establishes peace throughout the world. Big proof is that President Trump across the TMZ zone. So, and he was walking, there you are, he created peace with North Korea. There is also, you can click on this, it's the Wikipedia. I don't really like Wikipedia, it's still kind of, but you can go ahead and click on that. It kind of gives you a little rundown on that peace treaty that they signed. Number 18, releases enormous sums of money for humanitarian purposes. It is, those items are mentioned under the COVID relief bill. Not all of them, but some of them. 19, enables the release of 6,000 patents. I don't have any information on that, so that's not really a proof yet. And then 20, initiates first phase of prosperity distribution of vast wealth accumulated for many decades. Now, I just want to emphasize this. COVID relief is not NESARA, but signs are leading in that direction under the COVID relief bill. Here are individuals. So I just put this in a tweet, and I'm just going to keep adding to this tweet as more news and stories come out. But I'm just going to share. This one here is the one that I really found interesting because she did get her entire mortgage completely evaporated. You paid off 100% of this loan, and that was last year, and that was by Diane Gray. And then there's other proofs in here. This one here is from Lion King. All three of her friends had student loans, $80,000, $42,000, and one for $500,000, and they have checked, and they are gone. So she's thinking they're going in alphabetical order, but you can click on this thread, and it will take you to other stories, and you can read the conversation in that as well. So remember, these are individuals that are sharing of their debt forgiveness. There is no particular time frame announced, and these incidents are from the very select few. So there are lots of questions about when is it going to happen to me? When is it going to happen to me? I don't know. Once again, Trump has to announce it. He has to roll everything out officially. But these are just individual proofs. Now, I have some interesting information about the CARES Act. So I'm going to jump into that. If you also have any questions and you're not on Twitter, please go ahead and make comments in this YouTube. I'm trying to address as many questions that come into the YouTube comments as much as I can. Now let's go into the CARES Act, which is also the COVID Relief Act, and what to do next. Many people are asking, okay, what happens next? What do I need to do? For those of you that are waiting for your stimulus check, it is coming in the mail if you file, again, provided that you meet those requirements, which is if you filed a tax return in the last year. Now, some people are saying, well, I haven't filed a tax return. I have a link here about how you can go ahead and file a tax return pretty quickly. So you could do it online. So the CARES Act financial institution information is right here. I did post earlier about what it is and unemployed insurance recipients, what they will get. So make sure you go ahead and contact the unemployment division to find out. I'm sure they have a pre-recorded message because they're probably getting a lot of people asking. So I went on 5 different websites for the COVID Relief Bill and Act and how it would benefit small businesses, self-employed, independent contractors, and gig workers. I went to my bank and I asked them. Now, I'm going to just share this with you. When I did go up there, the first thing I asked is there anybody that can you please let me know what I need to do and how I can inform others about the COVID Relief Bill Act? And immediately they interrupted me and said, you need to go to the SBA site. This is an SBA approved lender. I asked her, I said, do you have that available? And she pushed back and gave me a frown. And she said, well, she said, well, I'm lucky I still have a job. We're still working. She gave me a frown. I know if you're listening, I'm just telling you this. That was wrong. I said to her, well, if you're unemployed, you're probably going to make a lot more than being a bank teller over here because you're going to get $600 extra a week. Now, and did you know Trump is going to be sending you a check? Remember, I live in a very liberal state. She looked at me. She goes, yeah, well, it's nothing. I said, it's a lot of money for other people. It might be nothing for you. It's money for somebody else. I said, so would you prefer to go ahead and donate your check? And she just looked at me and she said, no. And I said, well, then it is important to you. So she pointed me to somebody else. That person pushed me off and said, well, you can go ahead and go on our site. So I'm going to just share something with you. I went on their site and this is what it says. I actually got so upset I reported this to the White House already. So the very first thing that many people are asking, because there's a lot of people that are self-employed and independent contractors in Hawaii, really throughout the nation. This right here, it says employment distribution loan. So yes, they are going to be in the form of loans, but it says here it will be a loan from $1,000 to $8,000 with terms of 12 to 24 months to repay the loan. Now that is not what I understood. There was no repayment of a loan. It was going to be salaries that were paid to us. So I got to look into that. Okay, so this is not consistent with the law. However, I did find something pretty interesting because I went through all of those 5 websites and I could have gone through more, but I just wanted to go ahead and drive a point across. Remember when we talked about California was suspending mortgages for their certain customers that had accounts with certain banks or mortgage accounts with certain banks? Well, here we go. Residential mortgage deferral. If you need relief from your residential mortgage payment, our partner, DMI, will work with you on a program. So you can call this number and it will take you through the program. I have to say, I think I need to change banks. I need to close this one and just stick with my other bank because my other bank had more information that they offered. So, but kind of letting you know that I found this as well. This is on the Bank of America site, on their COVID relief site, bankofamerica.com. And for those of you that need help making credit card or home loan payments, you can submit your request online for a payment deferral. Guys, why hasn't the media announced this? This should be flashing breaking news. This is so huge because now it's not just in California. They're not saying it's restricted to California. They're saying if you need help, and this is talking to customers nationwide. So we, unfortunately, in Hawaii do not have accounts unless they're online accounts with these big banks. We only have local banks. So this right here is huge. So I encourage you to go ahead and look at these pages, tell your friends, look at your own bank's website and just run a search under COVID relief bill. And then it should have all the information that is necessary. But I wanted to go ahead and post these links for you because I think this can really help give a lot of relief for individuals that are looking for some, especially since our quarantine has been extended. So I do hope this has been helpful for you. And I will be sharing more as time goes on. I am going to try to do another broadcast tomorrow. Thank you so much for listening. God bless you. God bless America. God bless our president and his administration. And I continue to pray for our administration, our country, as we undergo this transition into world peace. Thank you. Aloha.